Hi, and good evening. We are returning by popular demand. I think it is amazing that you guys are watching and you are sending in your responses. And we just wanted to come tonight and do a little sister girlfriend. Let's talk about it. I am Liz, affectionately known as LizzyDoll, and I have my co-host here tonight, who is Miss Tina Marie, who is affectionately known as Kizzy Doll. So we're coming to you tonight just on a Friday night, relaxed, and we just had a great conversation and we wanted to talk to you about our real experiences, real women with real men. And we also just wanted you to know that this is our opinions. And so, we're speaking from the heart. We just want to let you all know, there is another side of things. And we really wanted to talk about standing in your convictions and how important it is. It's not something that, we're born with. It's something that is developed along the way as you grow into your maturity, and so we're talking to women. Some men may want to come on and just kind of, understand our point of view. And I think it's just a great thing. Miss Tina Marie, how are you this evening, darling?
Girl, I am good. I am really good. I'm so glad to be back and chatting. I'm telling you, I was looking forward to this all day. It was a little rough today, but you know what I'm grateful for?
What's
Grateful for
that?
two things.
Okay.
I made it through the day,
Yes.
and if God gives me the same grace when I wake up in the morning,
Yeah.
I get to do it all over again. So I'm real good. I'm real good. Thank you for asking.
Oh, you're so welcome. I just wanted to add, you are so beautiful tonight.
Oh,
You
thank you,
know,
Lizzie
that's,
Dow.
that's
Thank you.
something, that I just want to talk to our ladies about. When you feel good on the inside, and then you put yourself together on the outside, and you have your spirit in order and in check, and you know where you're going. You're like a breath of fresh air. And I just want to encourage all of my lady sisters out here. Encourage another woman. You never know what she's been going through that day. You never know what your smile, what your hug, what your encouraging positive word will do for her. It's
Ab-
like I was listening to a song earlier today by India Irie, and she sings this song about brokenness, and she talks about love being like cocoa butter on her heart. Oh my gosh, isn't that wonderful? Cocoa
Girl,
butter on my heart. And you know how sometimes you get with a song and you hear it and it's like that song just resonate with you all day. I was like, man, people say that, and I'm not gonna say that people say because life can be very challenging and it can throw a lot of hard balls at you. But I'm telling you, it's nothing like truth.
absolutely.
It's nothing like truth and honesty. And we want to
Mhm.
talk about standing in your convictions and what that really means. So I want to ask you, Miss Tina Marie, and Miss Tina Marie has gotten so many wonderful, brave reviews on on just being so real. There are so many things out here today that it's not sincere and you can see straight through it, or they have us women fighting each other we are not going to do that here. We are going to show each other love, respect. We're going to honor one another. We're going to lift one another up. And I'm just saying, it is nothing like having a sister girlfriend to be able to call and talk to when life have beat the crap out of you. So Miss Tina Marie, I know we're just being real tonight. How about that? How about us just be real, real, real tonight?
Please, let's keep it real because to tell you the truth, Lizzie Dow and all of my sisters out there and my brothers, listen, you might as well be real about it. Number one, life gonna beat you up. Number two, it takes too much energy to just not be real. You will wear yourself out trying to be somebody else that God never intended you to be. So
Mhm.
you might as well just invest some time in yourself, go sit in a corner somewhere, find out who you are, and live your truth. Be the best person you can possibly be, because anything else is just not going to do. And you're going to find out. You don't have to take our word. Listen, we're just sharing our experiences, aren't we, LizzyDoll? That's
Absolutely.
all we're doing.
Hmm.
And listen, not everything that we say will apply to you or you will relate to, but if the information is helpful and it hits your heart just the right way, take it. Grow from that information. Take out the little parts that speak to your spirit. Because to tell you the truth, Liz, if we didn't have women or people in our lives that invested in us, gave us helpful hints, tips, taught us, gave us lessons, let us cry a thing out, pray a thing out, where would we be? So that's all that we're doing. We're just sharing. So, yeah, keep it real. That's all you have to do. And listen, you know what about that keeping it real?
Yes,
Here's,
ma'am.
we're very fortunate.
Yes.
I'm telling you, we are in a beautiful season in our life right now. But it takes time to get here.
Mhm.
It takes bumps and bruises on your head. But if you can listen to somebody, if you can just kind of wait things out a little bit, sit back, take your time, marinate on information, develop a relationship with the Father.
Mhm. Mhm.
You may not have a bigger bruise on your head as some others. How about this? You might even be able to keep your head.
How about that? You know, when you're
Okay.
talking about absolutely, absolutely. So many experiences ran through my mind when you said that. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You said something about it takes time to develop and it takes time for that maturity to happen. It kind of reminds me of we talked a little bit earlier this week about how much time it takes for a bamboo tree to grow. And see, when you think about that process, how, you put the seed in the ground under the dirt, and as you continue to water it and water it and water it, nothing seemed to happen, but some roots are growing under that dirt. And see, that's what happens with us. Some roots are growing, and as we continue to grow, and that bamboo tree, it starts to grow, and it starts to grow, and it starts to grow, and all of a sudden, you see it popping its head out from under the dirt, and then it gets a little bit stronger, and it gets a little, but by the time, and I think it was in reference to a friend of ours, a colleague of ours, it was in his book, excuse me, it was in his book, and he talked about that process. And that's the process that it takes for us to grow as women and to come into that maturity. And I want to talk to my sisters, my younger sisters out here. Ladies, you are so beautiful. And we sell ourselves short by not standing in our own convictions, not having a standard. Because when you don't have a standard, and I know it's cliche-ish, when you don't have a standard, you do fall for anything. Hey, I will raise my hand to that because I never knew my worth. And I went through so much that, a pastor of mine years ago, he said it was called stupid suffering because we already gonna go through some suffering. But stupid suffering is suffering that, like I can take my time and I can get around, nurturing women, and I can get around, you pick up a book and start reading it, and I can start developing myself, and then I don't have to go through that stupid suffering. Sometimes when you don't have your self-esteem intact, or when life or people have beat your self-esteem so far down, and all you heard was these negative tapes going on in your head, time after time after time after time, you start believing that. And then when you start believing that, now you start acting out of that. You start governing your life out of that low self-esteem or that brokenness in your heart. And
Yeah.
I'm saying that from true experience, not from something that I
Right.
heard, but from my own experiences. And
Hmm.
I dated, and I had this I want to say a barometer where I felt like you know I wouldn't look at somebody and judge them for what they had. That didn't bother me. It didn't faze me, I want to say. What somebody had, or what status they were. All of that stuff didn't faze me. I was just always in search for somebody to love the little girl inside of me that grew up to still, to have that brokenness. I wanted someone to love me, and I was searching in the wrong places for that, because I was using it as a drug to anesthetize all of the pain that was inside of me. And until I came into
Mm.
knowing who I am, and knowing that, God gifted me with this beautiful little girl, and He was like, take care of her. And I had to start being accountable to that and saying, how are you taking care of this gift that God has given you if you're allowing people to treat you less than what you should be treated?
Hmm.
And that includes relationships, and that includes all relationships. You have to know your worth.
Hmm. Absolutely, you have to know your worth. And I'm gonna tell you something that you said, Lizzie Doll, about um, what other people say. When we're coming up, your environment, your environment really shapes you. People are either going to help you or they're going to hurt you, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you come up, the things that people say, it's like a tattoo on your heart
Ooh,
and
yes.
an
Yeah.
impression on your mind. The
Mm.
next thing you know, you start believing the lie of the enemy, because
Yes.
it's the enemy that's using that person to deposit in your spirit as a little one
Yes.
something negative, which
Yes.
actually, now, how about this for keeping it real? It's a spirit, okay? So
Mm.
the enemy's job is to keep you down, to knock you down, and make sure that you never develop to be what God said you are to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that simply is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, if we don't know, if we do not ever develop our own personal relationship with the Father, if we never ask Him, show me how you see me.
Yes.
Who am I to you, Lord?
Yes.
What is your purpose for my life?
Yes.
You see, what we do is people, period. I don't care who you are, where you come from, people, period, listen to other people more than they do have a conversation with the Father. Now, this conversation here is not for folks that don't believe. We ain't talking to you. God bless you, though, but we ain't talking to you. We talking to folks that believe, that want to be better. And some people just don't know how to do that. That's who we're talking to.
So let me ask you a question in that point too. Let me ask you a question. So, in talking to the people that are, that just say that, I'm sick and tired, but I don't know. What if, I'm that one out there that really doesn't know. I'm the one that don't have, aunties or cousins, or if I do, they really don't care about me. I'm out here by myself. And so, how do I develop a relationship with God? Because, see, what I've come to understand is that, and I'm not forcing a religion onto anybody. I'm
Mhm.
not forcing my beliefs or our beliefs on
Right,
anybody. But what I'm
right.
saying is that through the roughest times of my life, I don't know how I would have made it if I didn't know how to talk to God, or if I didn't just, sometimes it was just as easy as saying, help.
That's what the
That's
word says.
prayer. Like Lord help. I've come to the
Yeah,
end of my
help.
just like Lord help. So for those
Help.
women out there that are like, you know what, I don't like the way that I feel when I'm with him. I
Mhm.
don't like the way that he treats me, but I don't want to be by myself. I don't want
Mhm.
to, what about those women? What do we say to them to help them to find their way, and to find their way to knowing how to just fall on your knees and say, Lord, help?
Well, you know what, Liz, I have been through some stuff. I tell you that it is amazing. I'm sitting here only because of God's grace. Let me make that very, very clear. Because at any time, any point in time, I either could have been in prison or dead. But the thing I did, I remember at the hardest and the loneliest time, I had nothing else but the Father. And even though I wouldn't say back then I had like this grandiose relationship with Him, I just knew that if I was here and because I believe Him, there has to be purpose. And the only way I was going to get that answer was to draw in close to Him. There are been many a days, Liz, I have sat down and I didn't have eloquent words to say or long prayers that came out of anybody's book. All I could say was, Father, help, help. I'm here. I surrender to you. I love you, but help me. Find me. Teach me. Because I couldn't do it. See, I didn't make myself. I didn't wire myself. The Father did. And He did it intricately. He is the master builder. He did it. And if we don't learn how to turn back around to the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, that He is everything, to get our answers, we're going to be searching and searching and searching and searching and searching our whole life. There's nothing wrong with searching, but searching and not learning is a problem. Searching and not growing is a bigger problem.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm feeling that.
You right. You gotta put the work in for yourself first before you can even think about helping somebody else, loving somebody else, or having them love you. How can someone love you if you don't know who you are?
So for the viewers out there that says, how do I find who I am? I've always been told that I was nothing. I was told that I was fat. I was told that I wasn't attractive. I was told that I wasn't smart enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't this, I wasn't that. So how do I now, what do I do? How do I say, okay, enough is enough, draw a line in the sand? What if I don't have the strength to do that? What would you advise me to do, to even, nobody's ever introduced me to even knowing that there is a God?
Mhm. Let me tell you, um, I have been in the pathway or crossed paths with people exactly like that before the Father began to deal with me and show me me. I would say that I have told people the very first thing that you need to do, you need to accept Christ into your life, because anything without Him is just going to be that constant fight. Be comfortable with yourself, because you need to have some hard conversations, not only with your inner self, your spirit, but with the Father. That's what I would say. It's just spend some time with yourself, not believing what you've been told. I mean, because in order to, if some, I'm gonna tell you. Let me back up. Let me tell you this. We are spirit beings having a human experience. I'm gonna say that again.
Okay.
We are spirit beings having a human experience. So the fact that, bless your heart and all your parts, Liz, I just glanced at you and you know what I just saw?
What's that?
I saw the glow of God all over you.
Ooh, wee.
The glow
Ooh,
of
wee.
God.
Thank you.
Now, listen, if you are here, you have to, people used to say that to me all the time when I was younger, because I believed the lies that I was told.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tina Marie, you this, you that, or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of me just, I didn't have sense enough or the know-how or that I had that I didn't have that inner power or strength to even seek it out. But I'm gonna tell you, one of the things that it takes, Liz, that some people really don't want to do, they don't want to be by themselves to even search it out.
Mm-hmm.
It takes that alone time sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that it takes, get yourself a brother man or a sister girlfriend that will be honest with you.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You know,
Oh,
listen,
absolutely.
seriously, and
Yeah.
women, I'm not talking about go find a man and get up under him to discover yourself. Uh,
Yes.
that's not what I'm talking about.
Make it plain.
Okay. So, a man has a way of communicating with a man,
Mm-hmm.
and you never know who God put in your pathway that could help lift you up.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in my heart that there are people out there that the Father will put in your pathway that will love you enough to not hurt you, but tell you the truth, that
Oh,
will not
absolutely.
hinder you,
Yes.
but will lift you up, that won't put their foot in your throat, but actually take their arm and embrace you.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's an amazing thing, but we are all connected in some form or fashion,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes that. Lord knows I did not get to this place that I am today in my growth, and I'm still growing, y'all. Disclaimer. So keep praying for me. I'm still
Yes.
growing.
We all are still
Okay.
growing for sure, but yes, we are.
Hey,
Yeah.
but to be honest, it took spiritual mothers.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned under some of the best leaders, spiritual leaders that
Mm-hmm.
we have in this country. It took that. It took hearing really hard things that hurt my feelings down to the longest toenail I got. Okay.
Absolutely. Yes.
But and I'm gonna tell y'all, okay, let's keep it real. I happen to be, I'm growing out of it,
Okay.
I think.
Okay. Let's
Keep
hear it.
praying for me. Being really overly sensitive. If you are overly sensitive, what you've done is wrapped yourself in a cocoon so tight that you can't even get the fresh air of knowledge to you that you need so you can.
Ooh. Oh, let's talk about that a little bit. That's real. That's deep. That's deep. And thank you so much for just being so open. You are such a breath of fresh air because
Oh,
you know that's how we learn. None of us are perfect. We
we're
all
not
have
perfect.
things that we
We're not
that we
perfect.
need to develop. But
Hmm.
we have to identify what that is so that we can allow ourselves to be open enough to embrace it, or we're gonna keep, what is that saying? You keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. If you're
That's
not where you want to be, then there is something wrong with that formula of keep doing
right.
the same thing. And
Right.
I want a different answer, but I keep dating the same type of man with a different body. But I want a different outcome. I want a godly husband. I want it, but I keep dating men that are carnal, or I keep dating because of my insecurity, or I keep dating the same type of man. But I said, oh, I want a godly man. Oh, I want a man with with good morals and a strong man. I want a man to be able to, I always talk about that TD Jakes Sacred Love songs for a reason. Because I'm telling you, man, when he talks about usher me, let me explain what that means. Usher me means that man is strong enough and he has enough he's identified enough with his spirituality that he knows in order to love a godly woman, he needs to be able to pray for her, pray over her. He needs to be able to lead her and guide her. And he needs to be strong enough in his relationship with God that she can follow him with confidence. You know what I'm saying? And so when the song says, usher me into the presence of the Lord, then he knows what that means. We all get beat up and we need that partner to usher us. And see, a lot of times we connect ourselves with somebody that's not of our equal. And I don't mean men and women are the same, because I know that we're not. We have our different roles. There's nothing wrong with that. We have our different roles, and that's why when we come together, we have a beautiful dance going on. A beautiful dance when it's coming together like that. But to your point about, that's what came into my mind when you said that about being open to learn and being and having that sensitivity cocoon around yourself. Usher me popped in my head because it just it just hit me like usher me into the presence of the Lord. And it's another one that says, Lord, I lift her up. And I just found out Michael Jackson did sing that song. And he says, Lord, I lift her up. But I had this experience where I was thinking that the song meant for a man, Lord, I lift her up to you. And I'm like, okay, in the song it did. But guess what, ladies? We have to be able to lift her up, lift ourselves up to the Lord. We have to be able to lift ourselves up. And I had this wonderful experience when I was singing that song, and I was, I wanted I wanted to meet that man that was going to be able to lift me up into the presence of the Lord. And then the Lord put in my spirit, you're doing that. I'm lifting myself up to him. I'm giving it all to him. I'm surrendering it all. I'm saying, I don't want to keep doing the same things the same way. When you just let it go and say, okay, I know there has to be a God because there are beautiful trees out there. The birds wake me up singing. The grass, the different seasons. The fact that I'm breathing air and I can't see it. So I mean, just that when you come into that, you can just fall back and know that God got you. And that is how I identify with the Lord. And you were saying about that opening yourself up and being vulnerable. And that's the first part of being open and vulnerable. You have to change the way that we're doing things, because if it's not working, then why are we gonna keep doing it that way?
Right. Well, you have to have a made up mind. You have to almost get sick of yourself and how you feel in your head and in your heart.
That's it.
Because it's like garbage in, garbage in, garbage in. The only thing that's coming, the output out of your head, your heart, and your mouth is garbage.
That's it.
So that's the thing that's gone in.
Hello.
We get protective about ourselves because of abuses and hurts and things of that nature, trust issues. Trust me, I can relate. I really can.
Yes.
But it comes a point where you make up your mind to trust God more than what you've heard, what you think you know, and what anybody else says about you. So, in order for me, to trust the Father, He's going to put somebody in my path that I'm going to be able to trust is going to tell me the truth. Some hard things.
The truth.
Some hard things. But truth, not to hurt you, but to get you to grow. And I'm telling you, I have heard some hard things about myself that I went, you know what I did with it? I'm not gonna fight with the man and woman of God that the Lord put over me. No, what I'm gonna do is go, okay, let me think on that. Let me pray on that. Let me go before the Father. And I know that I have to get alone and say, Father, show me me. Forgive me of any and everything. Clean my heart and renew a right spirit in me. But if I got this here thing, I can't change me. But what I can depend upon is if I continue to surrender to you every single day, there a change is gonna come. A change is gonna come. See, because right now I want to love more than I want to hate anything and anybody. I want to be at peace more than I want to be right about anything. I intend to make it in to be able to sit with the Father when it's all done, you see. So everything else, truly, when it comes to, we talk about a lot, Liz, you and I, the scale and balancing those scales.
Yes, we do.
Let me tell you something. Right now, at this point in my life, I'm working overtime on my spiritual bank account.
Mm-hmm.
What's in your wallet? That's what I'm working on. So at the end of it all, I don't want to be bankrupt spiritually.
Absolutely.
I want to love folks the way the Father loves folks.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have to trust the process. It is a process to do this work, to work on yourself. It is a process. But if you take all of your concerns to the Father, He will address every last one of them and give you what you need so that you can grow. Not just for yourself. Check this out. The growth is for somebody else.
Absolutely. Just like your experiences they're not for you.
They're not
you know I'm an author as well, and so I have a couple books that are coming out, and the second or third one that is actually being written now, it talks about domestic violence, and it talks about pain not being in vain. It is when we talk about relationships, that's why it's so important, and I want us to really, really educate our sisters out here, because being a survivor of domestic violence myself, and on the other side of that, surviving domestic violence, and just understanding that if you don't heal that brokenness on the inside, or have that, if it's not healed, you're going to have a greater chance of repeating it. And as we continue to have these sister girlfriend talks, I want to reveal a little bit more, because I've not been through domestic violence one time, but I experienced domestic violence from my mother's womb. And when it goes from your mama's womb, what you think the baby gonna come out? When the baby is the baby girl that sees domestic violence in her home, that then grows up to be a woman, and domestic violence is familiar to her, so she accepts it. Doesn't even understand the brokenness that's on the inside of her. And when we say talk about domestic violence being real, it affects every decision that you make from when you're in it. It until it's healed, and until you start to come out of that, the decisions that you make about relationships are covered with that. You know what I'm saying? There's traces of that still in that, and you like you just said, still doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is insanity. But when you're using the same brain that never got fixed, repaired, the same heart that never got fixed and repaired, the same pieces that are scattered everywhere, if that's what you're using to make your decisions through your life are coming through skewed glasses. So you can't really see a clear path. And so it's so many women out here that are in domestic violence, whether it be, psychological, whether it be, physical, whether it be financial, whether it be, there's all sorts of domestic violence. And oftentimes we don't even identify it that it's domestic violence, I was in a relationship where there wasn't physical domestic violence in this particular relationship, but it was mental. And I got out of that relationship, and the next woman that he got with, he shot her in the chest and killed her. You know, and I share that because that is how deadly this issue of domestic violence is. And I do believe that it does. I mean, I'm not talking about the man right now. I'm talking about the woman that finds herself in these relationships multiple times. There's something going on with her that needs to be addressed. And you just talked about, you said all of these issues that cocoons you into a you said like a shell that doesn't allow you to get information or education or help you, because you cocooned yourself in all of this. So, you know, my earnest desire, excuse me, is that as we talk about these issues and as we open ourselves up and be transparent, that we are being that auntie or that TT that a lot of women don't have. You know, I longed, and I know I may offend some people by saying this, but we're talking real talk. I longed for a grandmother to love me and embrace me. I didn't have a grandmother to do that. You know, I long for relationships with my aunties. You know, I don't have a close relationship with my aunties, and I've always been considered the space child because I was always so ambitious. My ambition came from wanting to see a better life for my whole family. It wasn't just for me. And so I put my head down and said, hey, I'm about to go to work, because if I don't do it, who's going to do it?
That's right. That's right.
But carrying all of the weight of the past, of bad relationships, of bad scripts, of bad, all of that heaviness, you know, continues to weigh on you.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
you know, I'm just, you know, I sometimes and I know it wasn't my fault, but sometimes I feel like, man, I was in that. And everybody kept saying, no, he's not, you know, he would never do anything. He's just mouth. But he wasn't. So I say this to women. If you find yourself in a domestic violence situation or domestic violence relationship, you know, John Walsh woke me up because I think he was on at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And he started going down this list of what it means to be in a domestic violence relationship. And 8 of those things on his list of 10 was present in my household at that time. And so what I say is that, you know, there is help available and you can walk into a brighter future. I left one of those relationships with $5.35 in my pocket. Left everything behind because that stuff was not more important than my life. And I'm grateful to God for where I am today and still growing and still developing and still. So I'm saying, you know, I know there are women out there that are going through this each and every day. And they're like, man, I don't even see a way out. But I'm just letting you know there is a way out. And we're going to continue to bring information on our channel. We're going to keep, you know, working towards having resources available, because that is one of the causes that's dear to my heart, because I know it doesn't just stem from, you know, it's not just the male. We have to look at us and say, what is going on with me? How can I heal it so that I can get out of this relationship, but I don't want to go walking back into another relationship like that. I deserve more. That precious little girl that God put in my care, which is myself, I have the strength to take care of her. Now, what do I do? You know, on some of our earlier recordings, we talked about, you know, the different resources available. You know, and one thing that I've learned too is when you keep it a secret because of the shame or because of you blaming yourself or because of what have you, that's exactly what that person wants. Exactly what he wants you to do is to keep it to yourself. You know.
So let me tell you, audience, listen. The domestic violence that Liz and I are speaking of. Yes, we're women, and we are talking about mainly male and female domestic violence, but let's be clear here. There's female on female domestic violence, male on male domestic violence, children and parent on parent against parent domestic violence. You are worth the out.
Mm.
So for whatever reason you have in your head and in your heart that's telling you you have to stay, guess what? You're worth more than that reason, and you deserve the out. You're
Absolutely.
worth more than that
Absolutely.
because your life definitely depends upon it.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a therapist on, and he was doing live or performing live counseling with me because we started the channel out talking about domestic violence and how to bring resources and help. So he started out, and I'm telling you, those sessions were powerful. They're in some of our earlier recordings, and he's coming back. I just spoke with him, and he's we were shut down because of COVID, but he's coming back, and I think he's going to be such a breath of fresh air. I keep saying that for some reason it's in my head today, but he's coming back because sometimes it only takes one thing. Like it only took that one episode of John Walsh. He was American Most Wanted or something, but it only took him to say that one thing for the light to come on. And I'm saying that hopefully something that we say can help somebody. One thing,
Yes,
one person. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And I'm gonna finish that
absolutely.
book because I want people to understand
Yes,
what the real deal is happening. I'm not saying that it's not already out there, but I want to really put that out there so that everybody can understand that there's resources, there's an out, and I'm not taking it lightly because I know oftentimes it's dangerous if you stay, it's dangerous if you leave. But like I said once before, when you leave, you give yourself the opportunity to walk into a brighter future.
yes,
If you stay,
yes,
then I mean, you know what you're going through every day, the hell that you have to wake up to every single day, or the hell that you don't know that you're waking up to when you wake up. You want to stay asleep. You know what I'm saying? So I
right.
it's deep.
You
And
know,
all of those types of domestic violence that you just mentioned, my kizzy doll, all of those, different types of domestic violence that you talked about, and when our children are growing up in domestic violence, people say, oh, well, I stayed because of the kids. No, baby, the kids, they know it, they feel it. They know when tension is
yes,
going on. They know when they hear the
yes,
yells and the screams coming from the other room. They know.
right,
So
right.
even if it's not for yourself, sometimes we'll do more for our children than we'll do for ourselves. But I'm just saying, reach out to the
Yes,
resources and things that are available. We started out tonight. We wanted to talk. I mean, I guess it's just some things that are just like deeply on our heart. And we just wanted to share with you all and just let you know there is hope for a brighter day. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like,
right.
we have these conversations all the time, and we thought, we need to share this because these conversations are very healing. And so
That's
we need
right.
to share
That's
this
right.
information, not be selfish and keep it to ourselves, but
That's right.
share
That's
because I'm
right.
telling you, if it helps one person, one of these shows, one of these podcasts, one of these conversations, if it helps one person, it was worth
Mhm,
it.
mhm. That's right. It actually is. Don't allow your circumstance, your past, or low self esteem to keep you in a place that God has not ordained for you to be in. There's no way in the world that's God. Oh, but He has something for you if you just step out on faith. Step out on faith. You know, when I was a little girl, unfortunately, you hear people say, well, I'm staying for the kids or this, that, or the other, whatever the reason is. We're not downing anybody. But when you stay in a situation like that, I saw some things as a little girl that I had no business seeing. Domestic violence, my father against my mother. I would love to erase those things out of my head. Unfortunately, my parents, God rest their souls, chose that day to not be responsible. And they tattooed that image on their daughter's brain and on her heart. And so, thank God that the effects of it, he has wiped over. He has put his love over, his covering over. I got to see what love does not look like. That's not love.
Ooh, yes, 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 yes.
That's not how you behave. And a little girl of 4 years old has no business seeing a group of police officers pull shotguns on her daddy.
Right.
No business seeing that.
Right.
No business seeing her daddy hit her mother so hard in her wrist that the blood projectiled out of her wrist. Have no business seeing nothing like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So don't stay for the kids.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. Yes.
Love them enough. Love yourself enough to get your out. Do your out. You're worth your out. You're worth that out. Right. I'm not saying that it's easy. We're not trivializing anything. Yeah. That's not it.
Yeah.
But if you don't step out on faith, you'll stay there in disaster. You'll stay there in tragedy. And we don't want that for you.
Absolutely.
We don't want that for any of you.
Absolutely.
Because there is better.
There is better. There is better. There is better.
There is better.
So,
and not all people act that way. And I'm going to tell you something. Another really important thing here is what we have to realize is that it is true. Hurt people do hurt people.
Absolutely. Say that again.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yes, that's true. So
and
true.
If you're in this sort of situation and this sort of environment, please know and understand, no matter what they're trying to shove down your throat, whatever, how big and bad they're trying to be and all the reasons they're doing what they're doing, that is a hurt individual.
Absolutely.
Hurt individual.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Miss Tina Marie, we've had another powerful conversation, and we have so many, other topics that we want to talk about. We're just getting started. We are just getting started, and we have some wonderful surprises in store for you. All of our Friday night girlfriend talks won't be this deep. We just launched, on just some deep, powerful subjects, and we're still going through, some healing and some learning and some sharing, and we're always going to be going through some learning. It's always better and better, and somebody said it keeps getting gooder and gooder and gooder. So you all just stay tuned for that.
You know what? We just let the Lord have his way. That's it. He took us in a different direction because, listen, I was going to share with you some stuff.
I know. I know. And you know what? I know we're going to put that on the next show. So we left you with a cliffhanger because we got some stuff for you. So stay tuned. The best, the very best is yet to come. Enjoy your Friday night. Keep watching, keep coming back. Bring us some ideas, some suggestions. We're having a ball sharing. I mean, I'm telling you, we've had so many deep conversations that just let your hair down and let's just talk about it. We've learned so much from one another. We brought so much to the table. And so, I just think that it's a wonderful thing to come and share and just share from your heart. What comes from the heart, which is the heart. A good friend of mine told me, I always give credit for where stuff comes because, I have some good people around me finally, and I appreciate that. But that is a good point that you get good people around you. You get people around you that really care about you and that will tell you the truth. You want the girlfriends around you that's going to tell you, girl, go take that pink skirt off with them yellow shoes. That does not work. You want the girlfriend that's gonna tell you, get that lipstick off your teeth. You want the girlfriend to tell you that you got your slip tucked in your skirt tucked in. You want those kind of girlfriends that's gonna tell you the truth. That's, girl, are you sure that's a skirt and not your undies? You know what I'm saying? You really want somebody that's gonna tell you the truth. And that's how we love on each other and tell you the truth in love and not in brutality or brutally. You want people to love on you. And if you have people around you and they're pouring love into you, information into you, knowledge and wisdom into you, one last thing that I want to share is that, a long time ago, we had the older women that would love on us and share. And I'm not saying me personally, because I mean, even a generation before that, they would love on the women and they would share things with them and they would teach them. We have a whole generation of young women out here that are not being taught, not being fed, not being nurtured, not being loved on, and they're just winging it. And look, and we're seeing some of the fallout and results from that. And I know we can't, I'm not going to say we can't, because I mean, hey, through the airwaves, you can talk to anybody, but we just want to share some love with you guys and just let you know, you ladies, not you guys, but you ladies, because, we just, want to share some old fashioned, good old values with you. Some of grandma's cookie jar secrets. How about that? That was the good stuff, and we talked about this earlier too. I sound like a Baptist preacher. Girl, we getting ready to close, but I got one more thing for you. I got one more thing for you. We talked about it earlier. Everybody wants that, or they say that they want this little Pillsbury biscuit that you pop on the side and you put it in the oven. But that biscuit in that oven is nothing like when Mama used to take those rolls and she put that flour and she used to knead it through her fingers. And then she rolled it with a cup and threw the flour on it. And then she rolled it and you sitting there with your mouth watering. You like, you know what it's like when she put the butter on it. So you sit and she's like, no, they got to sit on the oven and they got to sit there for 8 hours. And you like, 8 hours? But you know what? When that roll sat on that oven for 8 hours and she popped them in the oven and you smelt the aroma, and then she took the butter out and my mom was heavy-handed. She put that butter, she put that, cut that and plopped that big thing of butter in there. We didn't know nothing about naturopathic health and wellness back then. Took that roll, and I'm telling you, that was, it melted in your mouth. And see, so everybody is expecting this instant stuff, this instant love, this instant, let's go have sex and hook up and then we'll figure it out on the way. How you going to do that? How you going to grow? How you going to understand and learn somebody from the inside out? How you going to learn that person if the first thing you do, y'all have sex and you don't even know you don't even know the person's last name, So how we gonna talk? We gonna put a be continue on that. That's a cliffhanger, because we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about the difference between taking your time and really to get to know him. Don't you want somebody to know how to order for you? Somebody that opens the door for you. I'm an old-fashioned girl and I love it. Open the door for you. Somebody that knows how to order for you. Somebody that ain't sitting back talking about, baby, you got 5 on it or you gonna pay the tip. You know what I'm saying? But then women on the same token, you want to be a lady so you can be treated like a lady, and you want to bring it to the table as well, because when we treat each other like way back in the day, like the kings and queens that we really are, man, that's beautiful.
That's right.
That's where that beautiful dance coming. Y'all just ebbing and flowing together. Ebbing and flowing together. I ain't gonna say there's gonna be no bumps in the road, but you gonna stop and y'all gonna talk about it, or you gonna go in the other room. Ain't nobody gonna leave out the house and go around and go meet somebody. No. You gonna sit there, cause you know that you guys are meant and you are together being soulmates and helpmeets, and you are helping that man to reach his purpose, and in return he's doing all that he can to help you grow and be the queen that you are. Tina Marie, you gonna close us out, girl.
Listen, we got so much more to talk about that's coming. that we want to share with all of you guys. It is such a pleasure just to be here and to be able to do that in a very, very real way. So, listen, number one, gentlemen, we're not talking about women that just we want you to pay for everything and all that. First of all, get in line, know your role, be at peace with it, square up them shoulders so you can carry the mantle of being a man that God has placed on those shoulders. Stop whining, okay? We're talking about real women, not Jezebel and not Kay. Real women that deserve to be treated as such. But women, you gotta be a woman and act like one. We got lots of work to do, okay? So thank you for being here with us. Y'all stay tuned and come on back. Don't forget, you guys, hit that like button, share, and subscribe so you will know when LizzyDoll and KizziDoll will be back. Okay? We love you guys. This is all love. Nothing negative now. Come on. We got to stretch and we got to grow.
Stretching.
Nothing negative. We're not putting negative out there and we don't want negative back. Okay? Love.
He's
Love to all of you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, LizzyDoll, with your beautiful self. Bless your heart and all your parts.
and right back at you, Kizzy Doll. Until next time.
All
Bye.
right.